This is Weazel Chicago.
Hello, Chicago. This is Iyla Rowen with WCN. We begin tonight with some troubling news. A woman was tragically shot and killed early Wednesday morning. Our very own Cenencia DallaRosa visited the scene for us. Cenencia, what can you tell us?
I'm Cenencia DallaRosa reporting live from the scene of a fatal shooting. A woman was shot multiple times in the face and back earlier Wednesday morning at the intersection of 130th Street and Martin Luther King Drive. Witnesses say she was standing on the corner when the shooting occurred. Police are investigating the incident and have not released the victim's identity. We understand the victim was involved in a previous assault, which was widely circulated on social media. This is the latest in a string of violent incidents to rock the South Side this week. We will continue to follow this developing story and bring you updates as they become available. Back to you, Iyla.
We're now going live at a Chicago PD press conference where Sergeant Santiago and Officer Rubio will now be updating the community on a recent uptick in gang violence. This is a major concern for many Chicago residents, and we'll be closely following any information on how the police department plans to address it. They'll also be answering questions on overall community safety.
We experienced a rise in gang violence throughout the south sides of the city. This is common in relation to the dealing with narcotics. In addition to that, there's been firearms which have been sold throughout various parts of the city and trafficked through the major highways. We've been performing and working along with our law enforcement partners to perform interdiction. However, unfortunately, firearms still make their way into the city. We're doing our best with our specialized units, in addition to our patrol officers, and providing information to them to make them most efficient and also keep everybody safe.
Do you have any comment on the most recent shootings over the last couple of days?
So at this time, all information that we have is preliminary and the investigation is ongoing. What we can say is that we are looking for the public's assistance. If at any time any individual or member of the public wishes to come forth and provide us with any information, there will be a reward given out to any information leading to the arrest and conviction of the actors.
You mentioned drugs. What specific drugs are you guys looking at being like the catalyst for the violence, or is there anything people could do about the drugs? Is it that also on the rise?
We've noticed a lot more sales and transactions involving heroin, crack, in addition to psilocybin, used commonly by drug dealers themselves. We don't have much information in regards to distributing the narcotics currently. However, our investigators are working diligently to work on it.
Have there been major arrests in any of the cases, with the violence?
At this time, we are not at liberty to disclose much information on the investigation as it is ongoing. However, multiple arrests have been made in connection to each of the shootings that have occurred over the previous days. And the investigation is still ongoing. Our detective bureau is working diligently to put all the pieces together.
You mentioned the South Side. There's also been an uptick on the East Side of Chicago. Is there anything you guys will be doing to prevent more violence on the East Side?
As mentioned, our investigators are working diligently to identify actors involved in major crimes. Apart from that, we've provided information, bulletins to our patrol officers, provide them more information in regards to the recent crimes that have been occurring in the area. Apart from that, public information officer also has some comments to add.
Yes, to touch on that question as well, the patrol area in question is being manned and staffed at double the normal rate. You're going to see more officers and visibility posts and undirected patrols, both in the projects as well as in marked vehicles on the streets. You'll see a lot of officers on foot roaming these areas as well.
Well, are you guys concerned about violence against the department?
Yes, we are. We've effected numerous arrests relating to firearms offenses lately. In addition to that, a few officers have been harmed. None have been shot. However, a few have been struck with vehicles. We've also realized a rise in assaults against police officers, so we're treating those crimes very seriously.
We'll bring you more details on the police department's plans as they develop. In other news, the Chicago Police Department has released a community alert for information on an attempted murder. This individual, pictured here, is suspected to be involved in a shooting that took place on July 30th around 4:40 a.m. at Garfield Boulevard and Marquette Road. The suspect was last seen driving a red Eon with a license plate number 508885HG. If you see this vehicle or have any information on this individual, please contact the Chicago Police Department immediately. If you have any information on this crime, please contact the Chicago Police Department at 773-182-4566. Anonymous tips can be submitted to CPD emails as well. Now, for something a little lighter, Cenencia DallaRosa is joining us live from the grand opening of New Cafe's Second Cup in Chicago. Cenencia, over to you.
This is Cenencia DallaRosa with WCN. Today we are shining a light on Second Cup over here at Hawick Avenue. With us we have owners
Valentina.
And Pablo.
Nice to meet you, Valentina and Pablo. And thank you for doing this interview with us this afternoon.
Of course.
Of course, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. So my first question for you today is, what inspired you to open a coffee shop?
Well, the most thing that inspired me is that ever since I was a little kid, I always liked to do baking. When I was younger, I actually dropped an egg right in front of my mother, and she gave me the biggest death stare. It was actually our last egg, too, from all the baking that we done. So ever since then, I just told myself I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing myself. Even if things go wrong, I can always just pick myself back up. And here I am today with my own establishment.
You know, I was already into the business aspect of things, but I seen that this young lady was opening up a cafe where I felt like we needed it at. Like, it's desperate times. There's not a lot of good cafes out here, and I felt like we needed one, and I invested it.
And so, what do you think about the other coffee shops around the city, and how do you stand out in comparison?
I got this one. It's okay, Valentina. It's well, like I just said before, why I invested into this cafe is because these other cafes nowadays, they don't bring the good Chicago cafe anymore. It's not like how it used to be back in the day when I was younger. Like Mugs and Kisses, for example. Nothing that they use is fresh. Everything's old. They don't clean up. Nothing is like authentic anymore. You know what I mean? I just felt like Second Cup is going to bring that, and everybody's going to love it.
Do you feel that Mugs and Kisses are competition?
No, not really. They're just like, I don't know. They're just in the way, honestly. Like, because, you know, they've been around for a very long time. I'm going to give them that. But they're just in the way. And people are just so used to Mugs and Kisses. Second Cup is going to bring what we need.
Okay. And so my last question is, what should the community look forward to with Second Cup? What should they expect, or what should they look forward to seeing from you guys?
Well, my biggest goal when opening this establishment was having people come to the doors and know that this is a safe and healthy environment to just reflect and relax. I know a lot of people do come to cafes or coffee shops to kind of unwind, maybe do some of their work, maybe like young teenagers around the area come and do their homework. Whatever the case may be, I want this to be an area where they can maybe order some food and just relax with some friends. From growing up in Chicago, I also knew that there was a lot of people who were less fortunate. I was once in that position, so I do understand, and I want people to know that this is a place where even if you are on your last dime, we'll cover you. I know how it feels to not have money in my pocket sometimes, and I know the struggle. So I'm more than happy to giving back to the community. I'm very understandable in that way, and I think giving back to the community is going to help them give back and support us, you know?
So
Thank
I
you
want
so
to thank
much.
you guys. Of course, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time out to speak with us today. This is Cenencia DallaRosa with Weazel Chicago.
Thank you, Cenencia. That is all for today's updates. This has been Iyla Rowen with WCN.